Think white privilege is real?
Yes. I don't know that I would necessarily attribute it only to the fact that skin is white, but that privilege is passed down from generation to generation, and because of the way our society has been built, it originally was given to white people, and so the privilege is passed down from white people to white people. So in a sense, yes, but not solely because our skin is white.
Do you think white privilege is real?
Yes,
Why?
because me personally as a black girl, I don't get to like go and do like I don't get to go to Hollister and just shop without being followed. I don't get to like just go and do what I want without somebody constantly watching me, seeing if I'm a steal or like do something illegal in there.
I think white privilege is real.
Yes, it's very real. As a black man in today's society, as a black individual in today's society, especially growing up as a black person, my mother always told me, you already have 2 strikes against you. You're black and you're a male. And you can also say that for black women as well, because they're a very marginalized group. Not only are they black, but they're a woman. White privilege is something you can see or touch. It's something very abstract. It's something. It's kind of like Jim Crow laws in a way. They exist, but they're not written.
Do you think there are any other races that have privilege over white people? Even like circumstantially?
I think that, I don't know if I'd call it privilege, but I would probably call it preference for when it comes to like scholarships or grant money or things. I feel like a lot of times people, like good candidates, can be written off because they've checked the non-white Hispanic box on the race portion. But just because there's such an effort being made to be more diverse in who they're awarding money to, or, you know, given opportunities to. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do feel like sometimes that's given unnecessary weight when considering applicants.
Okay. But like, would you agree that the government should assist people that are less fortunate?
I think it's not necessarily a matter of should. I think there's an issue when people deserve, when people think that they deserve things. When people make comments that the government should give me fill in the blank because I'm fill in the blank, I think that is wrong. I don't think anyone deserves something. However, I do think that there are reasons and situations where people should be helped out, and you shouldn't allow people to live in poverty or to live starving or without certain amenities or rights. But again, I think it goes back to the attitude of the person who's receiving and the society who says, do these people deserve it? Is it a basic human right?
Do you feel like the government owns a woman's body?
I feel like we've come a long way, but it's still a lot of room for change. And with the abortion and how they're trying to govern Planned Parenthood, I feel like that's wrong. You haven't experienced these things, and a woman's body is her own body. So.
Does the government or can the government own a woman's body?
No. We tried this. There's certain human rights that every person has. Nobody is in control of no one else's body.
Does the government or can the government own a woman's body?
Own? I don't think so, no. Like, set guidelines, because I assume this is leading towards, like, abortion or something like that. Technically, I guess they do have the power to set laws, and some of those laws are going to affect like what I can do with my body, or a woman can do with her body.
Do you think men can be abused in a relationship?
Yes.
I feel like that's
it goes both ways. Like a girl can punch me, and I can punch a girl. So that doesn't make it right. Yeah, it doesn't make it right.
I feel like it doesn't necessarily make it right. Like, yeah.
Abuse doesn't come in race or sex. It comes anyway.
Do you think men can be abused, and is it fair?
I do believe that they can be abused. I don't think it's fair because I think, well, especially in the South, there seems to be more of a bias towards men when it comes to abuse, in the sense that they need to be tougher, and if something bad happens to them, they just need to man up. So it's not evenly distributed on its fairness. Sometimes it leans one way, sometimes it leans.
Do you think men can be abused?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think anybody can be the abuser and anybody can be the victim. I don't think it's a one-way street.
Person of color, does the presence of police make you feel safe or scared?
Mostly scared. Sometimes safe, but even before all the police brutality got so nationalized and so publicized, I still feared police. I think it's mostly because of my background from an urban city setting. You know, we don't really trust the police like that, but I've learned that not all police are bad. You know, there are some good police.
As a person of color, does the presence of police make you feel safe or scared?
Oh, this is a very ironic conversation to have. My father's a police officer. He's been a police officer since 2006. He's been on the flex unit, narcotics, a detective. Now he works in schools. I asked him one day, as a police officer in this kind of heightened police hatred time that we're going into, and him also being a black male, how does that kind of affect him? And his answer was somewhat surprising. But to answer your question, yes. I don't tell too many people this too often, but when I see a police officer behind me, I think, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know. You don't know what this police officer's what his reaction is going to be, especially being in somewhere like Chattanooga. I'm from Nashville, where things are a little bit more liberal. We're still in the South, don't get me wrong. But it does scare me. I don't know what's going to happen. Could this be me ended up on a pavement? Could this be somebody's club going upside my head? Or could this be me resulting in the loss of my life?
Women are sexual objects of the media.
I feel like they're very often portrayed as that, and I feel like that should change.
Yep. Do you think women are viewed as sexual objects?
Yeah, if they're wearing booty shorts.
I feel like
they can be. Doesn't mean they're always.
I feel like men or women are just viewed in the way they present themselves. And I would say, like, if a girl came into the club with an extra tight skirt, I would not be thinking of what her IQ level is.
Do you think women are seen as sexual objects?
Yeah, they can be.
Why?
Well, because sex sells, and usually men are the ones with the sex drive, so I think that is used to exploit men, so they kind of become objects in marketing.
All right. Do you feel that women are seen as sexual objects?
Yes, especially so from younger teenage boys, and I think the older men get, the less that they tend to be like that, but not all men.
Do you think it like levels off when you get older?
I think people mature. I definitely feel like I'm more of a person now than I was whenever I was 16, and I feel like I looked at women a different way when I was 16 than I look at women now.
What do you mean by that? Like, again, you can speak freely. Like, when you say in a different way.
Well, there's the, like, 16-year-old virgin, I've got to have sex, want to have sex, blah, blah, blah. And, like, you're, as you know, at that point, you're blinded by hormones and everything else. So, like, that can be the only thing on your mind. And, of course, like, along with, like, blinded by wanting to have sex, there's also blinded by, like, wanting to have love, you know? And so you got all this sex on your mind and all this love on your mind, and it's hard to remember that that person you're looking at is also themselves a person. I feel like there's a tendency to fall in love with your idea of a person and your idea of women.
think it is okay to be transgender or queer in today's society?
Yeah, I feel like people who have something against it or prejudice against it, I feel like, how's that affecting you? You're letting somebody else, how they live their life, affect you, and that says something about your character.
In today's society, it's okay to be transgender or queer?
Okay, how?
Like, do you think society recognizes that as something that's
Like acceptable?
Yes.
I feel like it's becoming more and more. I feel like there's becoming more and more pressure to accept that, whether or not you personally agree with it. I feel like in society, there's more and more pressure put on you that you have to see that as okay. And so I feel like society's moving in that direction. I don't think they've gotten completely there yet, but I feel like that's the majority is moving that way.
How do you define privilege?
Privilege is something that you have a benefit over someone else.
How would you define privilege?
Maybe having some type of innate advantage over maybe another standard situation.
Okay, yeah, it's commonly defined as unearned special rights, advantages, or immunities granted or available only to a particular person or group of people. That sounds about right to you?
Yeah.
What is your definition of feminism?
Someone who fights or supports the equality of both men and women, and it's not just about being like a man hater or anything. It's about fighting for the fact that men can be abused and that men also do get shorted when it comes to divorce proceedings, and it's.
I feel like feminism is just equal rights for everyone. Because I feel like not necessarily
just equality.
Yeah, not necessarily like equality for just women, but equality for everyone. Because I feel like they stand for more than just. I feel like they just point out all forms of like discrimination.